Hi Flosstube, welcome to Stitching with Grammy. This is Flosstube number 22 and it is Christmas in July. I will be sharing with you all of my whips for Christmas. Thanks for joining. Hi, welcome to Stitching with Grammy. My name is Barbara Johns and I am so glad you're here. It has been a while. My last floss tube was way before StitchCon, so it must have been in May or early June, I can't remember. But this is, as you could tell, Christmas in July. So, welcome everybody. If this is your first time joining me, please hit that subscribe button, the notification bell. Let me know, hit the like, the thumbs up. Let me know that you're new in the comments so that we can, talk to you a little bit about what's going on in my world of stitching and what you're doing in your world. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I know I don't do it as often as I need to, and I want to get better. I know I say that every time. If you go back to all my previous videos, I've said that every time. But I've got some ideas, and hopefully we're going to be going in that direction really soon. So, again, welcome everybody. I'm going to say a few things about StitchCon. I know it seems like light years ago. We're almost in August. Today is Monday, July 22nd, 2024. I'm going to be showing a lot of my Christmas whips today because we're all about Christmas in July. But I wanted to give just a little bit of a shout out and a reminder of StitchCon, a recap. You can put that in a Google search or a Flosstube search and see a lot of recaps. There's a lot of people that went in depth. I'm not going to do that, but what I am going to highlight is my group of table mates. Of course, Crafty Kara. Hi, Kara. I met her 4 years ago at StitchCon. We both went blind together. She said, "Hey, I need a roommate." I said, "Come on. You can room with me," and she's like the little sister that I've never had. So this was our 4th year, and of course we had to sit together, of course. Well, we also sat with a group of girls. The mom's name is Tracy, her daughter's name is Megan. Hi girls. And so they joined us. We were at table 51, which was right by the door that went across the hall to the annex. On the table on one side of us was Tiffany and her whole group of folks. And then on the other side was Brenda, the handwork maniac, Kim Store. Hi, Kim. Hi, Brenda. And that was where Pam and Steph sat when they were sitting and stitching. Steph wasn't there as much as Pam was. So it was nice to sit next to them too. At our table also, a gal who we had not met before. Her name is Faith. She joined us, and we welcomed her to our table because she came in kind of late the second day, and everybody else had their spots. And so she looked like she kind of needed a place, and we said, "Come on, come sit with us." Also, the table behind Kara, Michelle was there. So she kind of turned around and joined our table quite a bit. We had met her a couple years ago at StitchCon and have been, remained in contact. So going forward, and girls, if you're listening, Tracy, Megan, Michelle, Kara, we want to get together quarterly, get an Airbnb, get together, have fun. We've talked about doing one of those round robin projects that everybody can stitch on. We've talked about doing a project together. One of the tiny towns that Heart and Hand does. We talked about, none of us have ever made a drum, so we had talked about, girls, everybody picking whichever tiny town they wanted, whichever one was speaking to them, and we would all get together, stitch it before we got into our little meeting. We were talking about getting together in November, and then we would all try to make a drum, because none of us have made drums before. So it's just something fun. If you meet a group of stitchy people that have like interests, to go away on a girls' weekend, if you don't have the money or the time to go to a huge retreat all the time, you know, between, to see your friends. Excuse me as I fix my little Santa hat. Just get together and get an Airbnb, or get together for a day, you know, closer proximity to your stitchy peeps. So anyway, that also during June, I'm gonna segue into something. I'm not gonna go through haul. I didn't buy a whole bunch of stuff. I was really good this year, didn't go crazy spending, but I did buy tickets. They have drawings this year. They put baskets all along, so you could buy your tickets for their fundraiser and put it on the items that you wanted to win. And so I wasn't really going to do a whole bunch, and so at the last minute I thought, okay, the drawing was that night, they were going to start giving away some of these prizes. Here you go. Here's, you know, I think I got $10 worth or $20 worth, I don't remember. Well, I decided to throw it in, and this is what I won. And Tammy, Creative Country Girl, if you're watching, thank you for donating this for a prize. But I won a retreat bag at StitchCon, made by Tammy Blaylock, the Creative Country Girl. This bag is so cool. On the outside, it has a thing so you can put it on your rolly cart or your suitcase if you're flying. There's another pocket here. There's pockets on the end. There's a zipper pocket. There's another pocket. So many. It's quilted. It's really thick. A shoulder strap. And then it's got handles. And on the inside, really nice two-way zipper. On the inside, there's so many, I'm not going to be able to show you this very well, but there's so many pockets on the inside. There's zipper pouches. There's also, in this particular bag, it's a whole retreat setup. It's got a stitchy spot marker, like a mat that you lay down. It's got a hook on it. This is kind of the felty stuff so your threads can catch on that. This is super, super, super long, and I'm assuming it's to hook a pair of scissors on. And somewhere right here, there's a magnet in here so you could stick your needles to that. There's a hook. Again, it's Tammy Blaylock, Creative Country Girl. So that was in there, and there's a big old pocket in there. Another little bag, little zipper, fully lined bag that you can put your goodies in if you're going to a retreat. And this one also had a project bag in the fabric line to match. And I don't know off the top of my head what the fabric line is, but it's gorgeous. I just love these big flowers and the patriotic colors. So Tammy does little sorry about the glare. So you can, she had puts little tags on it, so you can write your project and who the designer, and then the back you can put your account, your fabric, your threads, all sorts of good information. So the reason I'm talking about this, not only because I won it at StitchCon, but June starts Cross Stitch Camp. Sherry, the Colorado cross stitcher. If you go back and look at her previous floss tubes before June 1st, she talks about cross stitch camp. I talked about it a little bit in my last floss tube that was before June. So the prompt every summer, June, July, and August, Sherry will give different prompts for each month of cross stitch camp. June's prompt was to take a monochromatic pattern that's all in one color and add some color to it. So for June, I picked Heart and Hand Ye Old Crow Sampler. And the whole purpose of it is to add a little bit of color where color was not called for. So I stitched the majority of this using Weeks Dye Works mascara, but I added Weeks Dye Works Lily Pad and Sweet Potato. These are the two colors that I added, and here's my finish for June. And if you can see, I added the orange for the pumpkin, and then wherever the leaves and stems are, I added the green. And so it just made it a little bit different. So I got that done for June. For July's topic, whatever, prompt, she said to take a pattern, whether it be a monochromatic or whatever, just take a pattern and don't be afraid to change some colors. So I've done that before a lot. I don't always change colors, but sometimes, you know, depending on what fabric you choose, maybe the whites don't show up or whatever that may be. So that's pretty easy to change a color. So I had so much going on, and it's Christmas in July. I didn't pull out a Christmas pattern for July for stitch camp, cross stitch camp, so I didn't do it. So August, it brings me back to this project bag. This is a project that I kitted up at StitchCon, one of the few things I bought. And what the August prompt, almost every year, I think this might be 21, 22, 23, 20, 21 was the first year Sherry did cross stitch camp. And so every August, she always says, pick a project and do something that you've never done before, whether it be a new designer, a new type of fabric. If you stitch on linen, Aida, try a even weave or try a linen. If you only use DMC, try your overdyed floss. Do a designer you've never done before. So this pattern, kind of spoke to me while we were looking around all at StitchCon. I'm sure you guys have heard. Barbara Hills, hi Barbara, and Stephanie, and the whole Keepsakes team, because it took a lot of people to pull off these weekends, and it's amazing. If you get a chance, go. That's all I'm gonna say. If you can go to StitchCon at least once, I recommend doing it. So anyway, they have across the hall from the big conference room is another room, and it's called the Annex, and there's trunk shows, and people send their project bags if they're a maker or designer, patterns, and Ymir, Almond M&Ms, and Forbidden Fiber Co. They have some of their flosses in the Annex. A lot of designers have their patterns and models or whatever. So I have never done a Erin Elizabeth Designs pattern. So for August, I'm going to be doing Erin Elizabeth, and this beautiful church on Holly Hill is the name of it, and I'll show you just a minute. It also calls for dinky dyes, and these are the dinky dyes that are for that pattern, and don't they look delicious? Some of her patterns had little floss packs already done and ready to go. I saw this in the annex, and I saw these colors together, and I didn't even know what pattern it went to, and I'm like, ooh, those are pretty. What does that go to? So then when I saw the pattern, I had to do it. It reminds me of my mama, who was the United Methodist Church choir director for 34 years, and this little pattern just spoke to me. So for August, starting August 1st, I'm going to be using dinky dyes that I've never used, and I'm going to be stitching this pattern by Erin Elizabeth called Church on Holly Hill. Isn't that gorgeous? This pattern is on a 36 count cocoa linen by Weeks Dye Works, is what the model was stitched on. Well, I decided I'm gonna pull a Fiber on a Whim Milk and Honey, and this is a 46 count. And so that's what I'm gonna use to stitch this. Whoopsie, and that just fell right out of the bag. To stitch this, and I'm gonna do it with these dinky dyes. So I think that's gonna look pretty darn good. So that is my August cross stitch camp project. And again, go check out Sherry, the Colorado cross stitcher, because it's not too late for you to join. You don't have to sign up until the very first day of the month. And the way you sign up, you got to follow the prompts that Sherry gives you in her Flosstube, and you have to tag her and tag the hashtags, the proper ones to do on Instagram, and you will be in a drawing for a participant for Cross Stitch Camp. Then, if you finish within the month, you post again and put that hashtags that she tells you to use, and then you're in for another drawing, and there's a huge prize pack that goes out to the winners, and a lot of stuff is donated for people to win to participate in Cross Stitch Camp, and it's so much fun. She does a winter one during the month of February that's a lot of fun, and she also did a sampler camp a few years ago. I don't know if she's going to do that again, but that's a lot of fun too. So there is my winnings from StitchCon, and again, thanks Tammy for donating it so I could win. Thank you. Okay, we talked about all of that July. Okay, so let's get into Christmas, shall we? I don't know how many of you are stitching Christmas in July. It's a lot of fun. I love stitching Christmas. Excuse me, I have to have a drink. I have my Christmas coffee cup. I've been stitching using while watching Hallmark movies, because Hallmark and the Great American Family Channel, they do Christmas movies all through the month of July as well. So anyway, let's jump into a couple previous finishes. I'm not going to pull them all out, but I have a whole bunch of previous Christmas finishes here and a few more here. And I will put pictures either at the beginning, you've already seen them, or I'll put some more at the end of my Christmas finished projects. I did not make this quilt. This is one that I think I got on Amazon, I don't know, a couple years ago too. I used to have a Christmas party, and it was usually the first weekend in December when I lived right on Main Street here in Eaton Rapids. They have a Christmas lighting parade the first weekend in December. And because I lived on Main Street, I'd have a little get-together, and we'd play cards and games and euchre or whatever. And I'd have food, and people could watch the parade right out my upstairs window because I lived right on Main Street. So anyway, I bought that bedspread for one of those parties because people were in my house and could see my bedroom. And so anyway, that I did not make, but that one I did a few years ago when I got back into quilting and was making table runners. So I'm going to show you a couple previous finishes for Christmas. this one, I've talked about it before on my channel. This was a finish that I did while I was in high school. I think it was the last year I was in high school or that following summer. And I made this as a present for my grandma. And when she decided that she was ready to go into a home, she decided that she was going to give it back to me. And so I said, okay. She said, Barbie, do you want this back? And I said, okay, Grandma. Well, my mom said, oh, no, that's going to my house. So it was at my mom's house for years and years and years, hanging on her wall. And when my brother moved into my parents' house, they have both passed. He's legally blind, so he has like a 75-inch TV. It's huge, and it was covering the wall where these two items were hanging. And so I'm like, oh no, those are mine. I'm bringing them. So I went a couple years ago after I got back into stitching and grabbed them from my parents' house. So this first one is the 12 Days of Christmas. Oh, and it's big. And like I said, I made this when I was in high school. And it's the 12 Days of Christmas, partridge in a pear tree, all the way down to 12 Lords a Leaping. So this one, I had to keep track because it was a 4-H project. And there is, I think, 494 or 95 hours that I put into this project, making it for my grandma. And the rings, I think it's Krynick. This was way back in the 80s. You could tell it says 84 Barb K 84. So that was my maiden name. This is huge. It hangs on my wall all year long, and it's got an oak frame. It's a really nice frame. And then there's just like this shrink wrap stuff that you put on your windows in the wintertime. I think I'm going to pull it off because you can see the discoloration on it from where this is open. So I think I'm going to tear this off and re-shrink it and put it back in this oak frame. So this was 12 Days of Christmas, made in 1984. The other previous finish I have, this one, when I was pregnant for my son, who's 33, it was in 1991, I believe, is when he was born. I was in 6/30/91, yeah. So I made this as a Christmas present for my mom. And you guys will all recognize it. This was a Bucilla kit that I got from Lee Ward's, where I was a manager at Lee Ward's. Now, I think way back in the day, Michaels bought out Lee Ward's, but I worked in the one down. My ex-husband was in the Navy, and we lived in Virginia Beach, and I worked at the store down in Virginia Beach, and so I bought this kit there, and it is the Prairie Schooler Santas. And this is 1984, 85, 86, and 87. And they came together in a kit with all the flaws and all the colors. And so I did this for my mom. And I think, yeah, this was after I got married. So BJ, and then the 91. So that was when I gave it to her for Christmas, the year my son was born. So this hangs on my wall year-round as well. That's the Prairie Schooler Santas. And hopefully this will be a screen grab. So I'm going to try to get there we go. Okay. So those are two big previous finishes I wanted to share with you guys. So let's move on to... Oh my God, I got so much stuff on this table, you have no idea. I may move this cup of coffee because I don't want to spill it. Now let's get into all of this goodness. I have so many patterns and kits and works in progress that I've been working on, and a couple new starts I'm going to show you. So I have so much stuff on this table, I'm just going to shove things and try to make some room. And if you're ready, here we go. So I'm gonna dig, and I think this is one of my oldest WIPs. It is. Here are the beautiful flosses that go with this. I've got one that's in progress, and I added another one in this bag, so there are 2 WIPs in here. So one is new as of last year, and the other one I've been hanging it around for like 30 some years. And once you see it, we all know what these are. A lot of people have been stitching on them. I know Brenda, the handwork maniac. Hey Brenda. I know she's made some. Sarah, Memphis Sarah E. I know she was working on some for her grandbabies. A lot of people have worked on these, and these are the stockings that were in the Cross Stitch and Country Craft magazine, and this one was July, August of '91. So that's when I started this one. And like I said, my mom was a United Methodist choir director, church choir director for 34 years, and so I started making this for her. I've shown this on my channel before when I've done my WIP parades, but this has been in my bags of stuff that I've carted around for 30 years. And it's almost done. It's got a lot of the back stitching. There's really not much left to do. Most of this part down here is done, so I've got to go and finish on the way up. This is on a 25 count Lugana, mushroom Lugana. I believe that's what this is on. And you can tell I dug out, started stitching it again, but it's on a Lugana, and back in the day, and the instructions in the magazine says to use 3 strands. So I'm having a hard time getting back in the swing of stitching this, and it's kind of flimsy fabric again. I put it in a hoop or a Q-snap, but I thought, you know what, let me pull out another one, and I'll see if I can work on another one, and if that one is a little easier. So I decided I was going to make one for myself. I am going to finish this stocking, and I'm going to put my mom's name. Her name was Mabel. I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to hang it up in my home every year. So I decided I need one for myself. So this one is a 28 count Lugana in the color wheat. And I pulled all the DMC. I didn't put them on floss drops yet, but I decided to start. Let me fold this up a little bit. And that's my start. And the one I'm doing is from the July, August 1989 magazine. And this one is the Stitcher's Room. And I don't want to put that. There's an address label of somebody, and I don't want to put that on there because I got this, I think, was on the freebie table at StitchCon. And this is the Stitcher's Room stocking. Now, I know that 123 Stitch, you can get these patterns on 123 Stitch. They're cooler, I think it's K-O. Cooler Designs. Let me find the front page. This is called the Stitcher Studio, is the name of the stocking. And it's Kooler, I think. And it calls for 25 count mushroom Lagana, but I'm doing it on 28 count. I don't see where it even says, but there's a whole instructions in here how to do it, and each one has like ornaments that you can do as well, or they show a option to do the stocking that will match it, and you can see this one here. So that would be even fun just to do that little part. So anyway, you can get these patterns on 123 Stitch. Okay, so there's my oldest WIP and one of my newest ones. So I'll stick all of these back in here, and I did not do any of this in July. I did not work on these, but hopefully soon we'll be able to do some stitching on them. Excuse me while I shove everything back in here. Okay, what's next? Oh, this one, I had this leaflet forever, and when I got back into stitching, it was in November of 2020 during the pandemic, which is when a lot of us got back in here, right? So I decided that I had waited long enough and I was going to pull this out of my stash. And again, I'm stitching it on a Lugana. Not really my favorite to stitch on right now, but I got so much of this done. I need to just finish it. I was using a hoop before I got into Q-snaps, and I kind of like screwed up some of the fabric, and I just kind of went down that rabbit hole and got into all the other stuff once I found Flosstube, and this just kind of sat there. But that November I had shoulder surgery, so I got back into stitching by being able to hold the hoop with my right hand, and I taught myself how to stitch left-handed because I knew I needed to do something with my hands while I was recuperating. So that's when I got back into stitching. So then once I was able to start moving my arm, my physical therapist said, "What are you doing? That's good therapy, whatever you're doing." And it was stitching on this project. So this, I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is a portrait of Santa. There's it on a couple pillows or an Afghan. Well, here, and I gotta finish this because here's how much I got done. There's not much left. I gotta finish his beard and a couple of bells over here, and then he's pretty much done. So I need to get back working on this guy and get him finished, get him framed, so I can hang him on my wall at Christmas time. So that's a portrait of Santa, and I need to get on that. These go with, well, that's that. Okay, I'm getting things confused here. Okay, this one is a dimensions kit, and I want to do them, but I don't know if, I don't know. Sometimes dimension kits are really cool, sometimes they're not. This is on a, this is a gold collection, and it's all of these ornaments, and I think they're beautiful. I love the houses and that little church and the barn. I want to do these, but I don't stitch on Ada much anymore. But I want to do these. Here's the, as far as I've gotten. Just started stitching one of them. And the reason why, some of the kits, this comes with everything that you need, the gold thread, the felt that you put on the back, all the patterns. Oh, what's that doing in there? That's not supposed to be in there. But this is the gold collection, and I don't know if you've ever done a Basilica kit. I'm gonna flash one really quick. the pattern because, woohoo, there's a whole lot, especially the gold ones, but they also have the finishing instructions on how to do it. They have, I think this is the one I started. It's just crazy. And this one is not bad because here's all the floss. I mean, look at this hot mess. But this one is not bad because it tells you what number it is. It's separated for you. So you know what you're pulling out. A lot of the Bucilla kits, you get a clump like this, and you have no idea what number, what color. At least this one is sorted out, so you can figure it out, what color goes where. But this is one of my other whips that someday I want to do those. I don't know when, but someday. Okay, some of these are kits, not works in progress, because I haven't started them yet. This one was very popular. Everybody got this fabric. It was hard to get for a while. The fabric, I think it's Alchemy, and this is Christmas Delivery by Cottage Gardens. It's gorgeous. So this is the called for fabric that it took forever to get. So I got it, and I thought, oh, well, let me start it. Haven't started it. Here's all the DMC. It's all kitted up, ready to go. So maybe someday soon I'll start that. And I have this in a dot goose bag that was I got from a friend who was changing how she stored her projects. And so I got a couple of hers, and this is, I think, before Denise. Hi, Denise, if you're watching. Before she put her tag on, because I don't see, but I know this is a dot goose bag. So there's a kit that I haven't even started yet. This is something from the Jingle Bell Ball. Not this past year, but the year before. And it was from my girl Teresa Kat. And it was little ornaments that say joy and a Santa. And I got the kit that has all the floss, and it has the pipe cleaners, and she had all the little things that you stitch on, and then you make a little pillow. It had all the little floss, everything in this kit. And it came with a beautiful postcard. I think I want to frame this because it's so cute. Well, I like to put my stuff I stitch in a hoop, and that'd be kind of hard to put this in a hoop and stitch on it. So I decided I was going to do mine on tea-dyed 28 count Monaco that I tea-dyed. So I started stitching the J, and here's how far I got. Not very far. And then it was after Christmas. We got busy. I shoved it all in this envelope that I got from her in the mail, and here it sits. So there's another Christmas whip that I have to share with you. Maybe I'll get that out and finish it. Thanks, Teresa. Okay, here's another project. Speaking of the Jingle Ball. And I don't even know if I started this or if I just kitted it up. I just kitted it up. It's not even started yet. But this was from the first year. That was the logo. And it's just so stinking cute. So I pulled all the floss. Whoopsie, I showed the pattern. I pulled all the floss, making it up my own as I go along. And I'm going to be stitching it on a piece of 40 count Valor from Picture This Plus. I'm going to put my little pink shoe on that. So there's that. And this is in a cute little project bag. When I got into making vinyl front bags when I first started, this was one of mine. And it looks really so cute. I forgot forgot about it because you know you only see your Christmas projects once in a while. So that's another kit. What do we got? Here's another one I've had kitted up forever and a day. And this one, I got all the floss pulled for it, and I just need to start it. I have a 40 count Heartland is the pitch of this plus that I'm going to do it on. Let's see what they call for. This was on a 30 count Portobello linen from Access Commodities, the model. I've got all the classic colors, and I think there's one DMC, and this is called Jingle All the Way, and it is by Little House Needleworks. I've had this in my stash since the year I got back into stitching. Yeah, 2021 is when this came out in 2021. So it's here, kitted up, ready to start stitching with a beautiful piece of Pitches Plus in there. So, okay, what else do we have here? This one, I've seen a lot of people showing this, that they're working on it. Here's all my flosses. And this is my girl Diane Randall of Silver Creek Samplers. And this is my Christmas list. And I know you guys have seen this. This has been out since 2017 is when Diane released this pattern. And I'm stitching this on a 40 count piece of Mallow, M-A-L-L-O-W, that I got on 1-2-3 Stitch. And this is where I am. Sorry, nothing is ironed. And there's where I am. I believe I'm using all the called for colors, except the one thing that I'm probably fighting with, which is what I always do, is the whites. So I believe this one, I pulled out a white sulky because I think that, especially on this mallow, shows up pretty good. So there's my Christmas list by Silver Creek Samplers. And I'd like to get back to that because it is so cute. And I'm making a hot mess over here. This one, I have a few previous finishes in here to show you as well. I pulled the flosses for these. There's Classic Colorworks and some Weeks Dye Works colors in this. And this is the Spirit of Christmas sets 1 and 2. And I've got some of them done. And I've got one that is an FFO. It's fully finished, ready to go in my little dough bowl. And I used some backing fabric and from the side from Joann's, and I bought a whole bunch of it so I can continue. And then it's got some shiny little rickrack I got at Joann's. But this is the one I have finished. Is Peace. It's that one right there. The white doesn't show up as well on mine as it does on this. I think I'm stitching all of these on a piece of 40 count Winter Wishes by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I have, maybe not. Maybe this is a picture that I don't remember. Here's the Noel I have done. And here's the snowman I have done. And yeah, I believe it's a Winter Wishes by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I have more to stitch. So I have 3 of the 4. I think the Peace one, See, the tree is red. I kept my trees, both of my trees, green. I didn't make a red tree. And then I've done this one and this one, so I'm going to do the Joy sled next. So I'll have all 4 of these done, and then I want to move on to these. So these are from Leela Studio, and I think these are readily available. You can still get these patterns if you want to join in. So I guess I could leave that out now. My finish, stick it in the hole. So there's that. What do we got next? Oh, this is something I started. It might have been a Mania start where you start a whole bunch of projects during the month of May, or a 12 by 12 start, and I've never gotten back to it. But here is Cranberry Christmas by Hands On Design. These are all so adorable. Sorry for the glare. But the one I was starting was this one. And this is a, I think, 40 count water lily, I think is the name of the color that I'm doing them on. And I believe I pulled oh no, it came with a little sulky, a little kit that has these in it. She worked with Sulky and designed 12 weight cotton petites, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors, and they came in a little kit, and you could buy it with that. So I have a jar. I have all my Sulkies up in a big, huge gallon-sized ball jar. I just threw them all in there, and so I think they got put back in there instead of in here where they belong. So I'll have to pull those back out, but that's the next one. What do we have now? Here's another one that I've got kitted up that I've been wanting to start. It's all kitted up, ready to go. And I don't know why I just don't start it. I have a beautiful piece of 40 count, 46 count. And you know, Susan at Keepsakes showed me something that I don't have a piece of 40 with me now, but if you look at Zweigert, this is not Zweigert, but if you look at Zweigert, it always has the orange line on it. But if you're trying to determine whether something is a 40 or a 46 count, if you look, if it's all frayed here, it's the 46 count. And if it's not frayed at the end, if it's solid where the orange is, then that's the 40 count. And I didn't know that. So anyway, I have a beautiful piece of linen picked out. I have all the DMC, and there is a Classic Colorworks and a few Weeks all kitted, ready to go. And this is Plum Street Samplers, Home for Christmas. And I want to get this done. This is Paulette Stewart. It is trying to find it. Oh, stitch count 106 by 113. So that doesn't look very big, does it? But it is. And this is a lot of dense stitching. So I don't know why I'm waiting to stitch it, but I want to stitch that. The model was stitched on 36 count Winter Brew, and I believe that's R&R. So that's what it was stitched on. So I have some other kind of linen pulled. I don't know. I think that might, I don't know what it is, but it's a creamy linen. This one, Helen D did this a few years ago. This is also stitched on a 40 count mallow, and she did these little Lizzy Kate's jingles, and the first one is Deck the Halls. But when she did it all together like this. And I thought, oh, how cute is that? So I went and got all the little Lizzy Kate jingles, got all the fabric, or the Weeks Dye Works floss to do it. So excited to get started, and this is as far as I got. And this was like 2 Christmases ago. So I really need to get back to that too, because that's a lot of weeks dye works being stuck in a bag for a few years and a lot of little patterns. So I want to get back to that and get that finished. Okay, what are we doing now? Oh. This one I've started several times, and you know I'm really not happy with it, and I may go and start it back again. Who knows? But this is, everybody's seen it, Christmas Rules. Primrose Cottage Christmas Rules. Okay? So the first time I started it, I was really super excited. Which one is it? It was this one. That was my first start. Okay, that's cute, right? Well, I looked at it and I measured it. I started it too far down, and there's just no way it's all going to fit. This is a 40 count something. Picture this plus something. I don't know what. But I knew there would be no way I could get it all the way down and fit it all the way down here. So I thought, okay, let me start it over. And I'm doing this with sulkies. So then I thought, oh, well, let me get a really cute sparkly. So I pulled out this blue sparkly. And I was doing it with sulky. And I don't not like it. I don't not like it. I don't know why then. I decided to start it over yet again. And I think this is just a raw 46 or 40 count raw linen. And I started it again with plenty of fabric. I got a needle in here, but I got plenty of fabric to do it. So I need to get this going. This is done, like I said, using sulkies. So I don't know why it's lingering in this pile of stuff, all 3 versions. What I decided I'm going to do with this is make little pillows. So I'm going to do that, and then I also started it over here. So I'm going to use each section, continue to use this fabric, and make little pillows. But I want to finish the entire thing with my sulky so I can get it up on the wall at Christmas time. Uh-oh. So there's that one. What's next? I love this one. This one I got some work on. This was one of my 12 by 12 starts 2 years ago. And if you don't know, a 12 by 12 is, hold please. Okay, so this project was a 12 by 12. In case you didn't know, 12 by 12 was a project or event that Kia B came up with. She's also got Flosstube, so go follow her. And you take 12 projects, 1 each hour on the hour, starting at noon on New Year's Eve day. And you do 1 project every hour on the hour until New Year's Eve midnight. And you can do 12 new starts. The first year it was all new starts. Then the next year she changed it up, and you could be team whips or team new starts, and you could do 6 of each or 12 or whatever. And so I think I did 7 and 5 because, and the way I did it the next year is I did not start a new one if the project I started the year before wasn't finished. I had to work on that one. So I think I had 7 whips and 5 new starts that year. I don't remember which year this was. This is the little project bag that I have it in. I made little tags for all of my projects with a little, I have a HP sprocket, which is a little 2x3 picture sticker thingy. So you can take a picture and print it out And so that's how I made all my tags for all of my 12 projects that I started, so I knew what was in what bag. So anyway, I have all the classic colors and a few DMC for this series. And as you saw on the little thing, it is the Farmhouse Christmas from Little House Needleworks. I also got the border, the Farmhouse Christmas border from Little House Needleworks, and this is from 2017 and 18, but I didn't start it back then because obviously I wasn't stitching. And I am using a 40 count Wren by the Pitch of This Plus is what I'm stitching mine on. And this is what let me fold this up. And this is where I am. I got the first block done and some of the border. And I started a little bit of the outlining of the one below. You can tell. It's so beautiful. Now, I don't know, again, I'm having a hard time with the whites showing up. So I don't know, I think I'm using Snowball for this one. I think that's what I got, was Snowball. Because, you know, you want it to be really bright. I tried Snowball, I tried B52000, regular DMC white. I don't know. I think I'm using Snowball. I think that's what I ended up doing. And the next one, part 2, is this. The second block. So I got that one done, and I'm going to start on this one. And they really shouldn't take long to do these little squares, but you just got to get to it. So that is another. This one was a birthday start I had in 2020, not 2020, but 2021, my birthday start. Here's all the flosses. I bought this pattern when I went and met my girl, Crafty Kara. She lives in Anderson, Indiana, so we met at StitchCon in 21, and so we would get together at Stitch and Frame in Fort Wayne, which is kind of halfway between us. A little bit closer to her, but this is a water green, 40 count water green, and the pattern is Cottage Gardens Peace on Earth. And I'm doing it, like I said, on the water green. And here's what I got so far. I think this is turning out really cool. Okay, here's the picture. So I got pretty much half of it done. Sorry for the glare. So I need to get back at this because it's so pretty. This is what I usually do with patterns is put them in a sheet protector so that as I'm stitching it, you know, it stays right in there and protected. So there's that one, and I need to get back to that because I really want to finish this one and have this hanging on my wall. And this is in a little bag that I made when I started making the fabric bags. It's very little. This is Lori Holt's Cozy Christmas fabric line, and I made a bunch of these when I was a project bag vendor at a retreat. And this one I sewed too close to the zipper, so the fabric, so the zipper keeps getting stuck, and I'm not selling it. See, it gets stuck. I'm not selling it to anyone if it's got a flaw, so I get to keep it. Which is, I could deal with the zipper that doesn't work. So there's that one. We're getting there. We got lots more to go. Okay, this one I did pull out, and I did do some work on this one. I gotta borrow this book for something else in a minute. This is the Blackbird Design Home for the Holidays. And the one I did was 'Tis the Season. Let me find a bigger picture of it in here. You've seen a lot of people do it. And this one I got all the silks because I started this, I think the first year that I did cross stitch camp, where you do something that you've never done before, and I'd never used silks. So I got the silks for this project, and they're beautiful classic color works Belsois silks. Well, the white color that it calls for is vanilla pudding, and it was not showing up on my fabric. So Stephanie from Keepsakes, hi Steph, she was doing the same project, and she switched her vanilla pudding to icing, which is a little bit lighter. You can tell a little bit, but still, I'm having a time. But I put, while I worked on that this month, I put all these little red dots that were missing on the thing. So I did work on this, but look at, I've got most of it done. You can tell some of the tan color, they just don't show up. So I'm gonna work on pulling that out and doing some more white to make sure that that's gonna show. And I don't know, I still don't know. I may pull out, if you can't really tell the difference, pull out my sulky and try that white sulky with these silks. Who knows? But I got to get back to that and get that one done. So again, that's from the Home for the Holidays book from Blackbird Designs. And I did work on that this year. This is a current Christmas WIP for my Christmas in July. And I did something else out of that book. I'll show you in just a minute. Hang on, I gotta grab something here. I'm multitasking, so. Okay, so let's pull out the next one. I really want to get this one done. Speaking of Blackbird Design, this is another Christmas one that I just need to get going on it. It's beautiful. It's not that big. In fact, I have the whole width of it done. That's as far as the wideness, the widthness of this is going to be. And I think, I don't know what I'm stitching this on, but it's the Christmas Rose by Blackbird Design. They did a series of really small little patterns for Christmas. Not very big at all. Little, it shouldn't take long. It should not take this long. Here's what I'm doing. It's a 40 count. Picture this plus, I think it might be Bramble, maybe. But there it is. That's the width of it. That's as far, whoops. That's as wide as it's going to be. With the border over here, that's it. I just need to get going. That's as wide as it is. So I just need to get going. It's a beautiful, oh, and I have it in another project bag that I made when I was making all the vinyl front ones. I have this in that bag. So I want to get back to that because, you know, it's Picture This Plus fabric, which I love, and it's a Blackbird Design. So this one is another start for 12 by 12. I think this was the second year I did it. Here's another project bag that I made doing the vinyl front ones. I don't do those a lot anymore. Sometimes if I'm going to be a vendor at an event and some people still like the vinyl front, I'll make some of both. But most of what I put in my Etsy now are the fabric ones. So, but this is, I think this came out at Market 2 years ago. In 2022, this came out at Market, and this is Cardinal Kin. And there's 2 or 3 different colorways. I'm stitching mine on a piece of sand by Picture This Plus, and that's as far as I've gotten. This was a 12 by 12 I started, and I think I've pulled it out and worked on it a few more times since then, but all I have are these leaves right there. So I need to get back to that. It wouldn't take that long, and I could have that done for a finish for Christmas 2024. So I need to pull that back out. Okay, this one is another Blackbird Designs. This one I started, I think last year. I don't think it was maybe this was my Christmas Day start. I'm stitching it on a piece of vintage 40 count linen by Bestitch Me. And I got this pattern with my girl Cindy. Hi Cindy! When we went to the Farm Girl gatherings in Amana, Iowa last fall. And they were these had the fabric bundle or the floss bundles all kitted up, ready to go. And this is early Christmas morning. And it's beautiful. So I think I started this early Christmas morning this past year. And no, I know what it was. This past year, I did my 12 by 12 was all Blackbird Designs. All of them. Either a new start or a whip of my Blackbird Designs. I did the entire 12 by 12 all day, New Year's Eve day, stitching on nothing but Blackbird Designs. It was awesome. So this was my start for that. And that's as far as I got. And I got this big, huge piece, and I know I won't need it that much. It's a huge piece of Bestitch Me fabric, because that's the little quilt cross-stitch store right up there in Amana, right near where the retreat was held. Had a beautiful little shop that had Bestitch Me fabrics. So I want to get back to this because, well, why not? It's gorgeous. It's a Blackbird design, and it's Christmas. So there's that. Okay, this one, I went to the Christmas open house at Spring Green, Wisconsin, at the Country Sampler. I went there 2 years ago, last year, or the year before. I don't remember. But this is a Sampler's Not Forgotten pattern that I would love to get to and get this on my wall for Christmas. And I have this all kitted up, and I believe this is the 40 count. It's all kitted up with the fabric and the floss, and it's ready to go. And I have it in a project bag. Again, I made some vinyl front ones. I don't mind using the vinyl front ones when I've got them. So there's another kit ready to go. This one, again, in a project bag that I made, the vinyl front. I had them at a retreat where I sold, and these didn't sell. So I just put all my stuff, whatever doesn't sell, I put my stuff in it. This one is oh, I did pull this out. I did pull this out in July and work on it, and it's so pretty. I do believe this is another piece of Winter Wishes by Fabrics by Stephanie. I love her fabrics. This is a Brenda Gervais. I did the Thanksgiving one. I'm not going to show you that pattern. It's a finished project because I'm going to save that for my next Flosstube, and I'll talk about that in plans in a little bit. But this is Joy and Good Cheer, designed by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread. She's got a patriotic one, the Thanksgiving one, Be Ye Thankful, and there's another spring one, I think. So they're kind of like a series. And so this is one I started. It was another one of my 12 by 12s. It was number 8. It was a 12 by 12 because I got the little tag on it, so I always know I numbered 1 through 12. So this was the start then, and oops, I'm throwing stuff around here. Let me put this back before I forget. And this is where I am. I stitched the bird, and you could tell the wings are satin stitch wing. So I got a long way to go on this one too, but I got all the pretty floss ready to go. I want to get that one done because they're not that big, and I want to finish it in a flat little pillow like I finished my, I'm looking over there because it's right up there, you can't see it, but it's the fall one that I want to get that one done. Okay, so this is years ago, a couple years ago, I stitched a lot of Stitching with the Housewives patterns when I got back into stitching. I went to a retreat and had, where they were in Greenwood, Indiana, down near Indianapolis. I went to a retreat and met them, and so when you see the models in person, you buy a bunch. So I started stitching a bunch of Priscilla and Chelsea, Stitching with the Housewives. I love stitching on 28 count Monaco, but I dye it black, so it shrinks it down a little bit more, and it's dark black. It's not a gray or chalkboard, it's dark black, and I love it. So I got one of the bags. They have t-shirts, they have sweatshirts, so you got all the swag. Fat Quarter Shop has a bunch of stuff, the tumbler. I got my Yeti, Stitching with the Housewives Yeti. So I have a bunch of their fabric, and I got one of their canvas duffel bags. Well, I decided that because I had so many Christmas projects started that were Stitching with the Housewives, that I would take that duffel bag and I cut it in half, and there's a canvas bag, and there's the logos on the front and the back. So I made a fall bag for all my fall Stitching with the Housewives patterns, and I made a Christmas bag. So here's the Christmas bag I made. And I put a whole bunch of little fun Christmas thingies on it. And I used that canvas, and I just cut around it, and I made a bag. And I put the buffalo plaid red and black, and then the black and white on the inside. And it's a fully lined project bag. So I have one that's got the orange and black with it for my fall patterns. But anyway, here's a ton of them. I've got the Let's Go Ride a Bike Christmas. This one's not started. I'll just show you some of the ones I've started. Here's a huge piece of the black 28 count Monaco that I dye black. It's black. Someday I am going to do a tutorial, so don't fret. I will do that. I went online last year. I think these came out last year, and I did a download of these circle finishes. Just Joy to the World, Noel, Oh Holy Night, Peace on Earth. One of the other circle finishes I have right here is the Hot Cocoa. I've done the Ho Ho Ho. I've done the Douglas, is it Douglas fir? Oh, Cut Your Own Fraser fir. I've done the Up on the Housetop Christmas. So I did quite a few when I first got into it, doing Stitching with the Housewives. But I love their patterns because I love it on black. So I printed out a bunch of these that I bought that were digital downloads, put them in my sheet protectors, so those are ready to go on some black fabric. And I've got a few more that I might do that are just small ones. But I also, this is Paisleys and Polka Dots, and Priscilla just showed her previous finish of this Saturday when their most recent Flosstube came out. So she showed her finish of this. So this is Paisleys and Polka Dots backer. I got that. These were at Hobby Lobby. So she showed those, and this is the stitching. Haven't started stitching it, but I got it all kitted up, ready to go. Here's another one that came out, I think, the following Christmas. It's Joy to the World. cute little cabinet that it's on, I think from Hobby Lobby. When I did that one, in the series, those are her Dapper Doodads or Tier Tray Tidbits. I think those 4x4 are what she called the Dapper Doodads. So I did that one in the series. And then this is Holly Tree Farm. And that's how far I am. It's almost done. Why don't I just finish it, right? It's almost done. I just need to get it done. Because that's another little finish that I can have. This is Hello Santa. She had an all jarred up series where Santa's in a jar. He's got a little Santa mug, a little snowman on a reindeer. These are cute patterns. And so this one I started, and I need to finish it. That's all jarred up. This one is the Jingle Bell Cafe and the first year of the Jingle Bell Ball, which if you haven't participated, you need to. But the first year I did that, I worked on this project during the Jingle Ball. And this is, oops, I'll show you the project first. I got this canister that it goes on. Priscilla and Chelsea just showed this in their most recent Flosstube. And I think if you go and watch it, they're giving away 5 opportunities to win, or however many. So that's Jingle Bell Cafe, and this is how far I am on that. I love stitching on 28 count Monaco in the black. It's so pretty. So there's that. Those are a whole bunch of stitching with the Housewives whips that I have in progress. The next one, and actually this is the last whip in this stack. And then I've got a couple starts that I've done that I'll show you too. But this, I'm on a mission. And I have started this again. Remember I showed you, I put it away, my Prairie Schooler Santas. Well, as I mentioned, love stitching on 28 count Monaco. I tea-dyed a whole bunch of it. And I'm starting the Prairie Schooler Santa series over again from the beginning. And I'm stitching them all on 28 count Monaco. In order, starting in 1984. I want to finish them all with some of this homespun fabric on the back. And I want to make flat fold ornaments with this on the back of all the ornaments, so I can have a Prairie Schooler Santa ornament tree. So I want to put these on the back of all of them. Anyway, this is 1984. This is 1985. $1986. Look at how that white pops on there. 1987. And this is 1988. And right now I have 1989 almost done. Still in my Q-snap, almost done. And then after 89, number 90 is this little guy here with the little critters. Look at, he's holding the bunny and a bird, and there's a raccoon and a squirrel. So that's 1990. So I'm gonna do those all in order, all on 28 count Monaco that I tea-dye. And I just love it. 2 over 2 on 28 count Monaco. And I have every single pattern, and I'm going to do them all in order, and I keep it. And I'm going to, you don't change the colors of Prairie Schoolers. At least I don't. I have this little bag, a tiny little vinyl front bag that I made. And here's the project bag that I have to match. It's a holiday. This was at Joann's a couple years ago. Here's the back. Here's the bag that goes with it. Now, I wasn't going to do this until later, but since I have it in my hands, the 27th, which is Saturday, I believe, is my 3rd year Flossiversary. So I'm going to give away 3 project bags on this video. Okay, so the first bag, I'm going to say holly. The word is holly. If you want to win, it won't be this bag because this is my bag, but it will be very similar. I think this will be up here as well. And I'll make you a little vinyl front pouch. And if you use the word holly, I'm going to make one of these sets to give to you. And that's one of the 3 bags that I'm going to give away on this Flosstube. So stay tuned for some more. So let me put these Prairie Schooler Santas back away so I can show you then what's on this table in front of me. So much. So don't forget, holly is the first one. Okay. What does this go to? This must have been that Kohler stocking. I set it here, very first one, so I'll have to go fix that in a minute. Okay, so bear with me while I write that down. So giveaways, holly is the first one. And the other 2 I had written down, but I thought, oh, I'm going to do a 3rd one. Okay, back up there. I have some starts to tell you folks about that have to do with our beautiful July, Christmas in July. The first one, I didn't start it, but I got the floss and I got the pattern, and it was from Holly, Hobbies of Holly, and Mrs. Jones. I think her first name is Holly. The 2 of them decided that they were going to do Holly Manor out of the Peppermint and Holly Blackbird design book. And so I have all the floss kitted up. And I don't have a piece of the fabric yet that I'm going to do it on, but I think I might do it on that Bestitch Me that I had that big huge piece. I might pull the other part and do this to kind of go with the other Christmas. So that's another thing that I might pull out and do. I am in Teresa Koget's. Of course, I'm in Teresa's Patreon, and you should be too. You need to go and run to that. As soon as I saw her post this, I had to print it out. I had to print it out and start it. And I didn't get very far on it, but this is Santa with Anne and Ted. And I look at those blue colors. They're beautiful. Beautiful Santa with the Raggedy Ann, and that's, oh my gosh. So I have a piece of Zweigart, Pearl Gray, linen, and this is 56 count. I just got a teeny tiny little start. But here's the the flosses for this. I cannot wait to do this. It is so cute. So that's another Christmas in July start that I had. The first one. Then I don't know who all's doing it. I know Dottie, Stitch and Scotty. Hi, Dottie. There's quite a few people that are doing this in the month of July as a stitch along. So type it in the YouTube search and you'll probably get a bunch of them that'll come up. But anyway, it's the 12 Days of Christmas Stockings. And this is by Annie B's Folk Art. This came out at Market, and I saw all the beautiful little models that she had in her room at Market. I'm trying to see if there's more pictures. A lot of them, this one's finished. A lot of them are, I can't show you the picture. Here's another picture, because a lot of them have the pattern on the page. So there's number 2. That's the next one I'm gonna do. But I started, and I'm doing this on 28 count Monaco, the eye-dyed black, like all the Priscilla and Chelsea patterns. The pattern calls for a 14 count Ada in black. But if I'm going to do 14 count, might as well do 28 count Monaco. These might be a little bit smaller because, like I said, when I dye it, I put it in a hot tub for like 45 minutes. So it does shrink up a little bit the way I dye it. But here's all the finishing instructions on how to make them into the little tiny stockings and all the supplies that you need. But here is my finish of number 1. Oops, hang on. Sorry for the lighting glare. Isn't that gorgeous? Now you see the holes that are right here, and there's some on the bead, or some on the wing, and it takes beads. So I don't have the beading done on this, just the stitching. So I don't know if I'm going to wait and do all the beading when I get all 12 done or what. But right now, I don't have the beads yet. I have not purchased them. And so here's some more black Monaco that I dyed. And people have asked me to do a tutorial on how I do it. So again, I will do that soon. I promise. Okay, so there's that. And all the beautiful floss that goes with that. Okay, another new start. I mentioned this earlier. It's out of this book. This one's still in the Q-snap because I was just stitching on it. And I'll show you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. You probably aren't going to know that I was gone for a while, but I was gone for a while. I'm multitasking today. So, anyway, the last thing I was talking to you about before we got interrupted was the next start that I have started from the Home for the Holiday series, or book by Blackbird Designs. And this one is the Christmas Garden. Isn't it beautiful? So, I think I'm only using one of the called for colors. I changed the rest. I'm doing this is a big girl. It's 225 width by 272 high. So it's going to be pretty big. So I'm stitching it on a creamy color 46 count linen. I don't know who the maker dyer is. I don't really know, but it's a 46 count creamy linen. And the colors that I'm going to use, the only one I'm keeping the same for what was called for is, oh no, I'm not doing any of them the same. I'm not doing any of them the same. Here are my colors. There's only 4 colors in this entire chart. And I'm doing pomegranate. The green color is Otter Creek. And these are Gentle Arts threads. The goldish color I'm using is Toffee. And the brownish color, I'm using Grecian Gold. So these colors they chose, they call for Calico Kitty, Fool's Gold, Endive, and Heirloom Gold. These are the colors I chose. And here's my start. I've only used 3 of the colors. I haven't used the Grecian gold yet, but I think it's going to be just fine. There's my start. A lot of people, Olivia of Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, she did it, and she did it really, it was beautiful. But a lot of people change up their colors. The colors that are called for, it just, you know how dye lots of these overdyed flosses change. It just doesn't seem as bright if you use the called for colors. So this is what I chose, so we'll see how it goes. And I want to get that done. That is going to be beautiful. Now, where are we? I think those are all of my WIPs that I've had out. Around me now are kits and patterns that I have that are Christmas. Things that I want to do, things that I may start, things that I just have the patterns, because that we all know that collecting the patterns is another hobby within the hobby, right? Hobby, sickness, illness, whatever. So anyway, I'm going to quickly go through some of them. I won't go through all of them, but I have a ton of them. So the first year when you go to StitchCon, they have a freebie table, always. The first year I went, I picked this up, and I want to start this so bad. It's got 150 bazillion, this is the list of DMC. That's a lot. This is a full coverage. I've never done a full coverage. I have one kitted up. That's a Bouguereau, a William Bouguereau painting. Got that all kitted up. Haven't started it. But I really want to do this one. I might start this one instead. I don't know. But look at this. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? I have to do it. This was on the freebie table at StitchCon the first year I went. So I've been holding on this for 4 years now. I want to start this. Also, very similar is a kit that I bought at Michael's years ago. It's a Dimensions Gold kit. And I've had this kit. It was on sale. It was regularly $30. It was marked down to $50 or $15. Very similar feel to it, but it's a Dimensions kit. Very similar. Very similar. But this one, remember how I told you a lot of times it's just wadded up piece of whatever? It's a wadded up junk of floss. So not only do you have to figure out what color is what, this is the floss that it's on. There's dust bunnies all over. So I don't know if I'm going to do this one because, you know, it's a hot mess of floss. They didn't separate it and tell you what number it is, and I don't feel like messing with it. So I just look at the package. It's pretty. I may sell it on Stash Unloading or whatever. This one, I'm going to know the floss because I'm going to have to go buy it all and kit it all and mark it all. So I think I'm going to do this one instead. But, you know, there's some more. Patterns. I have a plethora of patterns. And these are in no particular order, but I just dug out a bunch of Heart and Hand, Holly Jolly Holiday. That would take nothing to whip that up real quick. You can make a pillow, you can make an ornament, or these are little lids that she has on her heartware. It's a little dish, and she's got a lot of different patterns that make a lid for that little bowl. Cute. Here's a couple Little House Needleworks ornament patterns that would take nothing to whip these up. This one, because I love Raggedy Ann and Andy, I want to do this one. How hard would that be? It's really quick. And I know, hi Missy, if you're watching, I know she did this. Missy from Two Needles Pulling Thread, I know she made this one. And it's really cute. It's all dolled up with the Raggedy Ann and Andy. Heartstring Samplery, she was the guest designer out at the Fall Farm Girl Dry Goods, Farm Girl Gathering in the fall. And I got this in her little trunk show. It's really cute, little stocking. This would not take a lot of time, so I want to get to that. New York Dreamer, Etsia Gladstone and her husband, I met them at Market the past 3 years they've been there. They're my designer friends who live in Staten Island. And I don't know if I've told this story here, but my maiden name is Kreischer, and the Staten Island, the south end of it, there was a brick factory back in the day, and it was called the Kreischer Brick Factory. They built, because there's a lot of clay deposits in that area, and Balthazar Kreischer is my 6-time great-grandfather. Anyway, long story short, they had factory, they had kind of like Henry Ford did for the automotive factory workers. He built houses for the brick factory workers, and he built this 2 huge mansions up on a hill on the south end of Staten Island, and one of them still stands to this day, and it's called the Kreischer Mansion. And I asked Etsia and her husband about it, if they knew about it. And they're like, yeah, we go by that big old house every time we go to the grocery store. So they've invited me someday. Etsia, if you're watching, I want to go to Staten Island and say hi to them and go see the Kreischer Mansion. Anyway, here's 2 of her Christmassy, wintry patterns that I want to do. This is New York Dreamer, Christmas Tree Farm, and the other one is Frosty Nights. It's not really Christmassy, but wintry, but it's so cute. So there's 2 more of those patterns. This is one that was out. I believe this came out in the 2023, I think this came out at the Jingle Ball. And so I've got that pattern. I don't have this fabric. This is Fabrics by Stephanie Juniper. She designed this, or dyed this specially for this project. So I may pull out some of my 28 count Monaco and dye a similar color to this. And I know my girl Crafty Kara has the same pattern and she wants to stitch it. So I'm going to dye us some fabric. I didn't forget, Kara. Here's a Plum Street Merry Friends. This is Jack's Sweets shop. That would take nothing to whip that up and make a cute little round finish. This was a freebie by Bent Creek that was at StitchCon. She had a finish of it, and she had this pattern right by the register in the annex at StitchCon. So I'm going to stitch this winter too. And that would be so cute. Shouldn't take too long to whip that out either. So I'm going to do that. It's a couple more patterns I've had. This is Homespun Elegance. Mary Noel Sampler Santa. I want to stitch that. Here's the 2024 Snowman. It's not Christmas, but it's winter, from Primrose Cottage. This came out at Market. Here's another little Busilla kit, or Dimensions kit. I would not do it on the Ada that it came with, 14 count Ada. So I pulled out, I have all the threads, it's all organized, it's not a messy one, it's a neat one. So I pulled out from Stitches and Things, the shop that's no longer open in Michigan. And this is just a piece of flax. And I'm going to stitch that on that. And this is the leave. It's a little Dimensions kit that I'm going to use the pattern and stitch it on something other than the 14 count Ada that it came with. So there's that. I went through and found a whole bunch more Priscilla and Chelsea patterns for Christmas that I forgot I put in a different location, so I'm going to put them all in that bag. But here's another one. My girl Crafty Kara did this on a gorgeous bluish turquoisey sparkly color fabric, and she changed the church door to red to bring some more red up to the top, and it was gorgeous. Her finish is gorgeous. If I can get a picture of it, I may insert a picture here. If I can get a picture of Kara's finish of this, it's gorgeous. So I got that pattern. Who knows if I'll do it. Priscilla had the back of the truck series, and the fall pumpkin picking day was really beautiful. The back of the truck, I fell in love with that. I got the basket to finish it on. Have I finished stitching? No, but you'll see that next month, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But this was the Christmas back of the truck that you do, and you put it on that basket. And every season you change out whatever pattern she did, and then you put stuff in the basket that goes along with whatever month it is. I got this finishing board as well. And the board comes with these little trees, and it says Mary. And so she designed the pattern to go with that and to use that board. And that board was available at Hobby Lobby. So I got that ready to stitch. Haven't stitched it. I pulled out a whole bunch more PDF printouts that are either Tier Trade Tibbets or Dapper Doodads or other little fun patterns. And some of them I wanted to do, these were all snowmen that are in there. But here's a couple more. These are the Tier Trade Tibbets. And there's Jolly Jar. And this is a Dapper Doodads that was out when this Fraser Fur and the other one that I have almost done. And here's another one in that series that I'm going to do to go with it. This is Merry and Bright. She did a series of Tier Trade Tidbits that go along with this one. Here, let me grab it, because this is so cute. So I dyed this fabric, 28 count Monaco. This is a wooden tag. I think I got it. Home Goods or TJ Maxx or what's the other one? Ross or Marshalls. And they're just tags that you hang up. I think it said Merry Christmas or something on it. And I just used this, put the black and white check behind it, and then glued it onto this. But this is one of the Tier Trade Tibbets called Ho Ho Ho. And along with that series, oops, what did I do with that? They did Be Merry. And Be Jolly. And I think there was one more, because there's one each month or each week in that month. So it was those two, the Ho Ho Ho, and then there's one more, and I don't think I got that one. She did a Year of Vintage Trucks, the Truckin' Along series, and I think she did that in 2020 or 20. I don't see the date on here. 2020. She did the Truckin' Along series, and it had the date, the month, and then it had a design, and it was separate. So I got this. I don't want to necessarily do the whole series, but I liked this part of it. And one of the years, the Jolly Housewives stitching, they do Christmas in July, and Kimberly, a Fat Quarter Shop, made shirts, and one year the shirt had that design on it. So I had to get that. So I wanted to stitch that. So there's that. At the first Stitch Etc. retreat where I met Priscilla and Chelsea down in Indiana, she started her Buffalo Plaid series. I don't know if that's when it started, but her Halloween one, I'm pointing over there because I have a finish over there. But through the Buffalo Plaid series, she did the seasons in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. But during Christmas one year with Fat Quarter Shop, they did Buffalo Plaid Christmas. And then in the magazine, I'm doing one of my mania starts is Buffalo Plaid Spring. I've already started that. This is Buffalo Plaid Winter. And I've got a basket. It's a metal, like, bin that's got a wooden lid. I want to put those on the outside of that, or I'm going to do the wordplay on the outside of that. That's Brenda Gervais' wordplay. It's another series that I've got that I need to get going on. So those were all more of the Stitching with the Housewives patterns that I may do at some point in my life. Some more. I got this one. I want to do a nativity. Nativity stitch, and I've got some of those leisure art books or Better Homes and Gardens books that were out in the 80s and the 90s, and I've got a couple of them that are really good nativities that I want to stitch. But this one was a new designer to me called Cosford Rise, and I believe she's from the UK, Scotland, I believe. And this was I saw the model at Market, and it is gorgeous. I don't know what fabric that's on, but isn't that gorgeous? So I got that pattern, and I want to stitch that. It is 32 count Twilight Linen by Weeks Dye Works. The grid size, the stitch count is 150 wide by 86 high. So it's not, no, it's 140 by 84 stitches. So it's not too bad. There's Gentle Arts, Weeks Dye Works, colors, and there's some back stitching involved and a little bit of details, but this is so beautiful. So I want to stitch that nativity. Plus, if you guys go give her some love, again, it's Cosford Rise Stitchery. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I also mentioned to you a few times the Jingle Ball. If you have not signed up, please do so next year when they do it. I know Lindy Stitches Stephanie Webb. She just this weekend did a midsummer virtual retreat type thing where there's stitchy rooms, and she had several Flosstube duos hosting tables. I know the Sable Stitchers had a table. Floss Boss and Cousins might have had one. I don't know if the Bougie Stitchers, if they had one. I can't remember all the duos that hosted tables. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, when you hear about it, sign up. It's usually the first weekend in December, and it's just virtual. So get together with some friends. Everybody pays, I think it's a $10 fee, and you can go into all these stitchy rooms all weekend. There are meet and greet with designers. There's classes. There's projects that you can get. But they also, almost every designer has a bunch of freebies. So I printed out a bunch of the freebies, and I'll just go through them really quick. Again, I put them in sheet protectors. Hands-on Designs, Beth Twist had some freebies. This is the Jingle Bell ornament from 23. I gotta cover up the thing. That's the Jingle Ball ornament. There's another one. I don't think it has heartstring samplery design. I don't think it has a cover sheet. It's just a quick pattern. Here's another one. Some of these I may have purchased. Some of them are freebies. Here's another hands-on design circle ornament. There's so many that are hands-on designs, but I can't show them all because they're the patterns. Here's one that says Slay All Day. It's so cute. And then also they have what's called a bauble book. Here's another heartstring samplery. They have a bauble book that has a ton of ornaments. This was from the first year. And it's, I don't know how much it is, and you can get it. Here's the one that Teresa did. And it's just fun. I didn't print out, there was a problem downloading my that was 22, the last year's 23s. So I got to reprint that out. And then some of these that I'm going to show you now are either patterns that I've purchased, Patreon patterns, or Jingle Ball patterns from my girl, Teresa Kat. Hi, Teresa. Okay, so here's one that I started. It's called Struttin'. I did this on a, I think this is a Lugana, but I don't really care for Lugana, as you guys know. But see how much I got done of him? He's so cute. But I don't, it's showing up really well here because of the light and because I'm switching it, you know, the way I'm turning it. But when you look at it, that beard just does not show up on this fabric. I hate whites. I can't get my whites to show. So, I just watched Kathy and Missy, Two Needles Pulling Thread, and they showed Gingerbread and Ale by Picture This Plus. And Missy was mentioning how the white pops on those two colors. So I'm going to get my hands on those and put this strutting back on that and see. Because he's so cute. I got to stitch him. But here's some more patterns that I got from Stitches and Things. These are ornaments from Teresa. And here's two more. This is a Stitches and Things. It's the Country Santa. I bought this one a few years ago. That was before she changed her logo. So now these are Patreon. These came out last July, and that's her new logo. But there's Dear Friends. I want to stitch that one. This was the 23 Jingle Ball freebie. Christmas. This is a 23 Patreon tier 2, 3, and 4. This is a 23 Patreon 3 and 4. Are you in Teresa's Patreon? If you're not, get there. $20 a month and you get so many patterns, and that's tier 4. You'll get 3 or 4 patterns, 2 coloring pages. She goes live. She also does a mystery stitch along for her Patreon tier 4. She shares sneak peeks at stuff, early releases for her market, and when she does releases, her tear-offs or cut-offs or whatever they call when you're designing fabric lines. She sneaks peeks that. So go join Teresa's Patreon, okay? And that's not a paid advertisement. I'm not being paid to market for her, but go join. This is another freebie from the Jingle Ball, Jolly Soul. This one is an exclusive at the Jingle Ball in 23. Isn't that beautiful? This was Santa delivery. This was a project that you could purchase. I got the pattern as a digital download, and you can get the mounting pieces from Chantel 141 Design Co. And this is Santa Delivery. And these are stitched on black perforated paper. They're so cute. And here's a stuck Santa from the Jingle Ball exclusive. I bought this one, and I love this on the blue fabric too. Isn't that gorgeous? And one more. This was the Jingle Ball exclusive from Teresa, Home for Christmas. So there's all my lovely Teresa patterns for Christmas. Okay, I got a couple more stacks here of stuff to show you, patterns that I may do someday, and these are all Brenda Gervais. Some of them are winter, some of them are Christmas. There's Souvenirs of the Heart. Souvenirs of the Heart, Home for Christmas. There's that one. This is O Tannenbaum, and you get the tray that goes with it. This is Santa Stops Here. This was a retreat piece for one of the Farm Girl retreats a few years ago, I think. I want to stitch that. That house is so cool. These were also released about that same time. This is Rudolph and Friends. These are winter, more like winter rather than exclusively Christmas. Here's another one with snowmen and cardinals. This is Peppermint and Holly, Joy Noel. And if you have been around long enough, this was a freebie that came out, I think, in 2020. And I don't have the cover of it. I'm going to show it real quick, and I know you guys are going to know because it was one of her freebies she did in 2020, and whoop, there you go. I want to stitch that. I've had that pattern forever. This is Basket Full of Wintertime. It's got a cute little Santa, and this is part of a series, and she has Basket Full of Autumn Time, Basket Full of Springtime, and Basket Full of Summertime. And these little baskets, the stitch count is 93 by 81 on all of them, so they're not really that big. Shouldn't take too long to get it going, right? Shouldn't, but we'll see. So where am I at now? I think that's all of my whips, my new starts, previous finishes. I think now what we can do is I have 2 more giveaways because remember, it is my 3rd Flossiversary. So the first bag I showed you before was that Christmas bag that I have my Prairie Schooler Santas in. The word was holly. The second bag I'm going to show you is my girl Teresa Kat fabric. This one was on my last 2 floss tubes ago. It was a giveaway. The word was bunny, and the person, I've messaged her and I've announced her, and she didn't claim it, so we're going to put it back up for grabs again. So the word I want you to use for this is bunny. And this is Hip Hop Parade fabric that came out last year, Teresa's fabric. So the word is bunny. I just made a bunch of project bags that I'm going to be putting on my Etsy later this afternoon, and the theme is coffee. So the 3rd bag and the 3rd word you're going to use is the word coffee, and this is the bag that you're going to win, and it's a fully lined bag. There's the inside. I always put a hook so you can hook your scissors or your floss drops if you put your floss on floss drops. This is also going to contain, in this giveaway, a flannel floss friend that I designed. And this is going to have Starbucks fabric. And what a flannel floss friend is, it's got snaps. You open it up, and on the inside is flannel. So your threads stick to it. And each one has a little zipper pouch here. So you can store your goodies in here. Use this while you're stitching. When you're done, you just fold it up and put it in your project bag. So the word for this bag is coffee. And you will get this set. Starbucks flannel floss friend and this project bag. The word is coffee. So again, coffee, bunny, and holly are the 3 project bags that I'm giving away. Thank you all for keeping up with me for the past 3 years. I know this is only Flosstube number 22, so I'm not regular. I need to get better and be here more often. Okay, so those are the giveaways. Let me go into plans. Do you guys have plans for upcoming stitches? Well, if you don't, you should. Let me pull some stuff over here. Here's another set that I'm going to be putting on my Etsy. Oops, I got threads behind it. Here's another coffee bag. This is not one I'm giving away. These are going on my Etsy later today. They will each have a flannel floss friend and the bag. There are 3 that are like this. And then I've got 2 more going in that have the red trim. These will not have the companion piece to it. They'll just be the project bag. So I have 2 of those and 3 of these sets going on my Etsy. And my Etsy is SWG Stitching with Grammy. SWG Stitching Designs on Etsy, and I'll put that below. Also on Etsy, I am going to be stitching some of the wonderful Teresa Kat up on the rooftop fabric line that just came out from Riley Blake. I have some on order and it's going to be here soon, and so I'm going to be putting some more Christmas project bags with that fabric and her previous line, Christmas line. I'm going to be putting those out on my Etsy. I'm also going to be doing her Halloween line that she had out a couple years ago. I'm going to make some more bags of those and get those out on my website, Etsy store as well. So, what are you guys doing for August? I'm going to do the hashtag awesome autumn in August, because I don't know about you, stitched all this Christmas in July. I'm ready for fall. Not for the season to come, but for the stitching. I want to stitch all the fall things. Excuse me while I shut this door because somebody's using their mower. Hopefully you can't hear it as much. So there's some fall things. Oh, here's another. If you guys want those coffee bags, here's a really cool pattern that is a whip that you should get because it's called Coffee Quaker. And it's from Beth Twist. And I started this project some time ago. And this is how far I got. And I think I changed up all the colors. I thought I didn't like that because it was like a 28 or 32 count, something like that. So I was going to start it over again. But why? This is beautiful. So I'm going to pull this back out and work on this. And I have it in another coffee project bag that I made a few years ago when I was doing the vinyl front bags. I have a ton of this fabric, so I may pull them out and make some more of these as well. Or maybe make a few of the smaller little thread keeper things and put inside those 2 that don't have a flannel floss friend. Maybe I'll do that because I have tons of that fabric left. I think that fabric came from Hobby Lobby, all this coffee stuff. So there's a project that you could pull out and put in your coffee bag if you want a coffee bag. Okay, so again, autumn. Awesome autumn in August is what I'm going to call the hashtag. I am going to be making a whole bunch of fall project bags in my Etsy as well. And I don't know if you've seen it. Bittersweet Harvest, I think it's called. Teresa, bless her heart, very soon is going to have another fabric line come out that's got all the fall feels, the harvest, the scarecrows, all of that. So as soon as I can get my hands on that fabric, we're going to make some of those bags as well. Also in August is the virtual needlework marketplace. That's where designers, very similar to the market in March when they go to Nashville, but this is all virtual. So it is put on by Bobby and her husband from Bits and Bobs. It's a cross-stitch shop in Plainwell, Michigan. She's taken on the role of this virtual fall event. There's a bunch of designers that are participating, and just the same as we do for market, there will be pre-sales on the Etsy shops or in-person brick and mortars, whatever, and we can pre-sale it and then order from them. They'll ship it to me, and then I'll turn around and ship it to you. So stay tuned for information on the Needlework Marketplace Virtual Market Show coming up in August. Okay, so what else are we going to do? Plans. Here's something, if you have not heard of Katie, the Naptime Stitcher. I know Kathy and Missy, Two Needles Pulley Thread. I've talked about you girls a lot today because I just watched you. Anyway, they are Stitch the Summer Olympics. If you go out to Instagram to go to the Naptime Stitcher, she has a link in her link tree that links you to this stitch along guide, and it's to stitch the Summer Olympics, and it's so fun. It's hosted by Katie. You know that the Olympics start on Friday, and this is just fun little prompts that she has set up to make it fun, to follow along with the Olympics and to be able to get some stitching done. So here is some of the things. July 26th, opening ceremony, a new start or something that you started in 2024. So just pull one of those out. You can pick whatever you want that fits that prompt. July 27th, Parade of Nations, stitch something patriotic for any country of your choice. Simple. They're very broad prompts, so you don't have to go run out and buy something special. I know Pam and Steph of Just Keep Stitching. Hi, Pam and Steph. They're doing it, and Katie and what is her name? Stitching Goddess Designs. I forget her first name. I am so sorry. But anyway, they collaborated, and there are Olympic shirts that you can order through the end of July from stitchinggoddessdesigns.com. And I forget her first name. Sorry. But go watch Pam and Steph's last video that was out Sunday night, because they show their shirts, and they're so cute. So anyway, the 28th, stitch something related to summer. 29, Olympic rings. Stitch with a floss or a fabric in a color from the Olympic rings. Blue, yellow, black, green, or red. All of our projects are going to have at least one of those colors, right? So it's a very broad prompt, so you don't have to run right out and buy anything. You don't have to start a bunch of new things. It's just pull out of your whips that fit that broad category. July 30th, swimming. Stitch something with water. July 31st, cycling. Stitch something that contains something round. A marathon. Stitch on one of your oldest whips. Beach volleyball. Stitch something with more than one person. So get together with a group of people on August 2nd and stitch together. Rowing. Stitch something with a row or something with a border. A sampler. Hello. Olympic Village. Stitch something with a house or a building. How many samplers have houses on it? Gymnastics. Stitch something choreographed by your favorite designer. Okay, so that's a broad category, right? Equestrian. Stitch something with an animal. Not necessarily a horse, an animal. Synchronized swimming. Stitch something that's part of a stitch along, a SAL, or something that was recommended to you from another stitcher. How many you can fit in that category? Weightlifting. Stitch something that you can't wait, WIGHT, to work on. Any of your WIPs. Soccer. Stitch something towards a goal on any piece. So we're all the goal of finishing. So any of those projects. A modern pentathlon. Stitch something that's part of a series. Closing ceremony. Stitch something you plan to finish in 2024. So Katie has come up with a ton of little prompts in this guide. There's a calendar. There's July and August. There's a word search in case you're bored and you want to do something different than stitch. You can do a word search. Find the hidden summer game terms. And then there's a couple pages for notes. Now, this brings up a wonderful point that if you haven't checked out the Nap Time Stitchers Etsy shop, I'll link it below, but go and find it, because not only does she do the Summer Olympics freebies, she has a ton of downloadable, printable planners and guides and reading guides and prompts and trackers to get your water intake and stitching all your... There's a ton of stuff that she has, digital planners and guides and lists on her Etsy, the Nap Time Stitchers. So go check her out. And hopefully by Friday you can go and check this out, print it down, and join all of us using the hashtag Stitch the Summer Olympics and stitch along with us on Instagram. Okay, so that is also coming up. I pulled out a few. I'm like I said, I'm getting all the fall feels. I have not only the Christmas one kitted, but I also have this fall one, and this is Leela Studios, and it's Season's Blessings, and I'm gonna do the fall one first, and then I'm gonna do that one in the winter, and I got it all kitted up. Here's the beautiful floss, and I'm gonna do this on a 40 count Oaken by Picture This Plus, and I believe that's the called for. So I'm going to stitch that, and I've also got it for the winter one. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that's something else in the plans for the awesome autumn in August. Yay. Woo! Okay, so after that is going to be Sampler September. A lot of people do Sampler September. So I'm going to stitch I still have a bunch of Blackbird Designs, the tie that binds, or whatever that fabric line is. I still have a bunch of that, so I'm going to stitch a bunch of the Blackbird Design fabric project bags and put those in my Etsy as well, because Sampler September, I am going to focus the entire month. I'll put a picture in here. But I went last month to IKEA. I have tried to find a way to store all of these project bags that I make, all these WIPs that I have, and I went to IKEA and got the Kallax cabinets that are a 13 by 13 square, and I have all my project bags now in that. And like I said, I'll post a picture. But one of the cubby holes is nothing but Blackbird Design patterns in a little magazine holder thing, and all of the project bags that have Blackbird Design projects in them, except the Christmas ones that are in this mess. But I love that. So now I want to get some more of those shelves and put them all in my sewing room to put my fabric in. But that is something else. So September, I'm planning ahead. I want to try to do floss tubes at least twice a month, if not more. So stay tuned for more Blackbird Design fabric project bags in my Etsy, and stitching nothing but Blackbird Design all September long. Are you with me? Who's ready? How about awesome autumn in August? Stitching all the fall pretties. I'll have a bunch of fall fabric bags out on my Etsy as well. Maybe I'll do some vinyl fronts as well, because I've got tons of fall fabric. And then October is going to be all about the Halloweens, because we're already getting a lot of the fall done, and I have a ton of fall whips. My next floss tube will be nothing but a fall whip parade. And so October, I'm going to focus more on not scary Halloween. I don't like to stitch scary Halloween stuff, but whimsy witches. So that's going to be the focus in October. So that's a little bit of plans going forward. I'm not going to show a bunch of haul, but what I do have for haul is more an investment, because I had to get zippers. I had to get more zippers. These are how I use my zippers when I make the project bags. They come in these big things, and then they have separate little, let's see if you can see them better on here. They have separate little bags full of the zipper pulls. So you just cut off the amount that you need, and it comes in all sorts of different colors. And that's what I use when I make all my project bags. So that's pretty much the only haul that I have right now, is investment in stuff that I'm going to use to try to get my Etsy up and running more. So, one more thing I need to tell you about before, and this is usually how I close every single one of my floss tubes, is I talk about getting together and stitching with your stitchy friends. Get a group of people local that you can meet with. I'm very blessed to be in the area, and Miss Donna Fedewa, hi Donna, mwah, mwah. She hosts a get-together in her home, and part of that group, we all meet in her home once a month, maybe a little less in the summertime because everybody is so busy. But Teresa is in there, Chantel is in there, a bunch of girls here in the Michigan area, and it just fills my heart. We have a meal together. We get together and spend most of a Friday. If you go back in some of Chantel's previous vlogs or floss tubes, she interviews Teresa in Donna Fedewa's house, and I was sitting in the background. You could see me sitting there stitching. But we have a wonderful meal together, and we share laughs and, you know, stitchy together. So find yourself a group. If you are in the mid-Michigan area, I am also hosting, I kind of put it on the back burner for a little while during the summer because everybody is so busy, but I'm going to start back up the Stitch Togethers at the Black Dog Coffee Company in Eaton Rapids, Michigan. Eaton Rapids is just about 20 minutes south of Lansing, which is our capital, right in the middle of the mitten, right here. So if you're in mid-Michigan and you want to come on over, it's on August 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Black Dog Coffee Company in Eaton Rapids, and I'll link that below too so you can check it out. But come and stitch with us. Get together, meet some friends. I post it in my local Eaton Rapids community Facebook page. So for the past couple sessions that I had earlier in the year, I had new stitchers. People come that had never stitched before, and I taught them how to stitch. So I'm sharing the love of cross stitch as the Deb and Liz, the stitchers that have had a floss tube forever, country stitchers, Deb and Liz, share the joy of needlework. And so that's what I like to do, is teach people how to stitch. So if you have a free day on Saturday, August 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., come join us at the Black Dog Coffee Company in Eaton Rapids. So again, go meet and stitch. And I always say, don't just say it, do it. Be kind. And this was a shirt that I've got a couple Christmases ago. Be kind, people. Don't just say it, do it. In this world that we live in today, kindness will go a long way. With all the stuff that's going on, we just need people to not just say it, but to do it. Be kind. If you can't be kind, just don't say it. So, hopefully I'll see some of you in Mid-Michigan on August 17th. The rest of you, I will be back again. Please like, comment, say the words. I don't care if you use them in a sentence or not, but make a comment. I'm going to try to be here more often. I know I say that every time. But like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm going to answer the comments. So thank you guys all for bearing with me, and I will see you all soon. Bye.